Welcome back to The Modern SD. I'm Coraline, your host, and this is the podcast where we keep it real about life as an esthetician. Each week, I'll share tips, lessons, and motivations to help you grow your business and thrive in this amazing industry. Whether you're just starting out or looking for a boost, this is the space to get inspired and level up. Let's dive in and get into today's episode. Welcome back, my beautiful ladies. Welcome to season 2 of The Modern SD. I can't even believe I'm saying that. I just can't believe it. This is my 12th episode and I'm just like, it's crazy. It's crazy. But I just want to get started and give a little explanation of what season 2 is going to be about here on The Modern SD. So this season, we're getting straight to the good stuff, the practical, the real world advice to help you grow your brand as a, solo SD or as a solo beauty professional. We're going to be talking about marketing, pricing, and attracting your dream clients and making your business work for you, not the other way around. Of course, I'll be sharing lessons that I've learned and tips that I have, learned throughout the years of being in this industry. Of course, I'm still learning. I'm still new to business. Even though I've been an esthetician for 4 years or so, it's still new. But of course, I'll still be sharing, those mindset shifts and a little dose of inspirations to keep you going when things feel tough. Because building your dream business takes more than just skills. It takes confidence, strategy, and a little bit of trust in the process. So in today's episode, I'm going to be diving into something I know a lot of you guys are thinking about, because I think about it all the time, and is how do I stand out in this market? I know you guys hear oversaturated market, but I don't really like to say that because it's just kind of negative. But I do agree in a sense of there is a lot of us in this market. And I feel like that's such an amazing thing because that means this industry is growing. So that's great for all of us. But let's be real, there is a lot of SDs out there. They're everywhere, which I love. And not just SD, people in the beauty industry. There's a lot of us. And it could feel overwhelming when you're starting out or even when you've been in the game for a while, but aren't seeing the growth you want. So today, I'm going to share some things that helped me and some strategies you can use to set yourself apart and create a business that clients actually want to come back to. So number 1, I want to say is you need to create a signature service. A lot of beauty pros kind of get stuck in trying to offer everything like facials, brows, waxing, lashes, all of it. And while there's nothing wrong with being multi-talented, because when I first started, I was doing all of that just to see how I feel about each thing. But what will really set you apart is having that one thing you're known for. So for me, back then, it was corrective skincare, but I kind of didn't really love it like that. So I went into brows. I took the time to kind of, educate myself a little bit more about brows, learn different techniques, practice. And because of that, because I honed on that idea, people look at me as the brow girl. And that's super important that someone, when someone is looking for a service provider, that you pop up, So if you're feeling lost in a sea of all beauty pros and estheticians, ask yourself these 3 questions. What service do I love doing the most? What can I get really good at? And the last question is, what can I add that others in my area aren't really doing? Maybe it's like a certain style of facials that you do or an advanced, treatment that you provide, or even like different brow techniques or like different lash styles that you're offering. Whatever it is, make it yours and market it like crazy. So, like, I'm gonna say an example. So, let's see. Maybe you're a lash artist, right? You know, a lot of people do lashes, just like how a lot of people do facials, just like how a lot of people do brows. A lot of SDs do lashes and they specialize in lashes. But what is something you can do to kind of set yourself apart? You know, can you offer like a free lip mask with your lashes? Do you have a coffee bar in your lash room? Like that would be super cool. Like what is something to kind of make you a little bit different than the other brow artists in your area? So just think about that and see how that kind of changes your business. Two, I would say don't just sell a service, create an experience. People don't just come to you for a facial or brow wax. They come for how we make them feel. And that's where you can really set yourself apart as well. Thinking about your favorite brands or places you love to go to. Why do you keep going back? Just think about that. It's usually because of how they treat you, how you feel when you go to that place or when you experience that place. It's the little touches and the experience they create. Some ways you can elevate your client experience is by having a personalized touch. Remember details about your clients. One trick that I like to do is after, my day of clients, I go through all of my clients like notes on online, or even if you have it on paper, and you write one detail from that appointment besides like the usual, like, the treatment details and for example, what lash mapping you used or, brow tint color you use, but more so a detailed of what they said to you. So for example, you have a client that's like, oh, I'm going away to wherever, I'm going away on a vacation. When they come back, make sure you ask about that thing, because that's really gonna, put a little ding in their mind, like, oh my God, this person remembered. So those personalized touches is what I'm talking about. 2, small luxuries. Maybe you offer complimentary like under eye mask during your brow services, or maybe during a facial you do hand massages, foot massages, or scalp massages. Those complimentary things are a game changer. Or even if you want to give a little alcohol, I know some nail places give like champagne. Like those are the things that people love, because I love it. And you go to get your nails done and then they offer you like cute little teas or coffee or water. Like all those things matter. Also, talking about luxuries, the ambience matters as well. The music, the scent, even the way your space looks can make a difference in how your clients feel. One thing about my home studio with the music and stuff, like I always give the options for my clients to choose their own music because it makes them comfortable, especially as a home-based service provider. I want them to feel as comfortable as possible, like if they're just chilling with their friend. So I always have that option for them to choose their music and stuff. But when you create an experience like that, people will not remember. They will not only remember you, they'll tell everyone about you and how you made them feel and in their experience. 3 is going to be build a personal brand. I've been working on this and kind of seeing how I want to go about it, but this one is huge and it's a game changer. Building your personal brand really is going to speak to people who really want to book with you. You know what I mean? Clients don't just book services, they book people. And it's super important to understand that, because showing up as yourself, your personality, your values, your style will set you apart more than you think. A lot of new estheticians are scared to show their face online, because I was, and think they need to look a certain way to be professional. But the truth is, the more you authentically show up, the easier it is to attract the right clients, So 3 tips to help you with this is just be present on social media. I know sometimes, because even for me, sometimes it's hard to kind of get on social media consistently, but show your personality on your stories, show your coffee order, or show what you like to do outside of the treatment room, because it shows people that you're also human and you're just a girl. But just show people a little bit of behind the scenes of stuff that you like to do, or even, throughout your day. Also, sharing your journey helps a lot too. Like, talk about why you got into aesthetics, your journey. Even if you feel like you won't be in this industry long, you could always just still share your journey, because people, like, for example, let's say you do facials. Like, for example, me, like, I did facials, but then I started specializing in brows. Throughout that transition, I was sharing like my journey and why I chose to switch it up, just because, I enjoyed doing brows more, and I wasn't ashamed to say like, hey, I used to love facials, not anymore. So people love it when you keep it real. So just share your journey. And 3 is educate your clients, position yourself as an expert by sharing the tips that helps them, or product knowledge, or just little bit of just insights to help them elevate their life, or help them elevate their look so they can feel more confident. When people feel connected to you, they're way more likely to book with you instead of the next esthetician down the street. But at the end of the day, standing out in this industry isn't about doing everything. It's about doing what you love, doing it well, and making sure people know about it. So if you're feeling stuck or overwhelmed, take a step back and ask yourself, what's my thing? How can I make clients feel special? And am I showing up as myself? It takes time, but if you stay consistent and focus on creating real connections with your clients, you will grow. Trust me. But that's a wrap on season 2. And I'm just so grateful that you guys are here listening to the Modern SD. And I hope you feel inspired and ready to keep growing. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, share with a friend, or leave a review. It helps other estheticians or beauty pros find this podcast. But other than that, keep going, keep learning, and I will see you next time. Bye.